We have a list of renovations here, and we're gonna list them from the don't do's, the nice to haves, to the must do's for investment properties. Phil, you wanna start us off?
Sure, let's find one. We'll start with smart thermostats. I'm gonna put that under nice to have. I don't think it's a must because really net is not gonna make you a ton of money. It might save you some money if you're paying attention. And it's not a don't because there is some benefit to it. It's very much what I would consider a nice to have because management, depends who's managing it, but if you're managing a property yourself, there's a lot of sometimes some issues that come up around thermostats, temperature settings. I like to be able to read it from my phone if there's tenant disputes in the property, and it can also help on the utility side of things, keeping it efficient.
If you're gonna buy a new thermostat, then buy a smart thermostat. If you don't need to buy one, just don't
Cheap
buy
enough
one.
upgrade,
Yeah.
right?
I'm gonna do an easy one here. Basement unit, it's a must-have. I mean, there are the real odd, very unlikely occasions where you don't need one, or the basement is actually used for another unit, which is fine, like a main floor unit, it's attached. But practically every single time you want to make sure that the property can facilitate a basement unit. It's gonna increase your cash flows, and overall, that's one of the reasons you're even buying this in the first place.
I'm gonna put adding a second bathroom under don't do with a caveat. I think adding a second bathroom makes sense at a certain unit, like at a certain bedroom count, 4 bedrooms and up is where it makes sense. We don't often build units that are 4 bedrooms and up. Too many units, too many rooms, too many different tenants that could kind of mix it up and change on themselves. But an additional bathroom is going to cost you a lot of money. It's going to take up a lot of useful space inside the unit. That could usually be at least a den. And it's really not a necessity. 3 to 1 is a very comfortable ratio for bathrooms to bedrooms.
I'm gonna pick another must-have, and this is actually very situational. So it's either a don't do it or a must-have. So we could put this in both, and it's the new roof. So if you do need a new roof, then get a new roof. If there are issues in your roof, just fix it. It's gonna cost you about $15K on average, maybe a little bit more, and you're not gonna have water gushing into your property, right? But if you don't need a new roof, if you still have 3 years, 5 years left on it, if there's wear and tear but it's still good, then don't do it. You're just wasting money. Wait until you need to actually do it. So it is a must-have if you really need it.
It's a lot of those big ticket items. I'll follow that along with another one that fits under the same theory to me, is replacing windows. I guess there's one specific scenario if you're looking for energy efficiency points for MLI where you might want to replace windows if you otherwise wouldn't have to. But if windows are broken, replace them. It's like the roof. Otherwise, they could be old and totally fine.
High-end appliances. I'm actually gonna put this in don't do it. The reason being, and again, everything we say comes with an asterisk. So there are situations where you might want to do this, but in general, if you're going for a really nice rental grade property, you don't need to do high-end appliances. You can save a lot of money by going at, good entry-level stainless steel appliances. They're gonna work well. They're gonna have warranty a lot of the time. You can find good deals on them and save thousands of dollars per unit. So this, don't do it. Keep it simple. Go for the entry-level stuff.
We'll go keyless entry is a nice to have. It makes the tenant management side of things much easier. It keeps things smoother. If a tenant loses their keys, so something sometimes as a property manager you get a call for, you don't need to worry about it. They have a code. They can access the property themselves.
All right, I'm gonna go to another maybe controversial must-have, but I'm gonna put quartz countertops there. I've never actually worked on a project where I haven't put quartz countertops in if countertops were needed. If you're gonna spend money on a countertop, just go quartz. It's more durable, it looks way nicer, and it's marginally more expensive. But what I always ask is, when the first tenant moves in and they use your not quartz countertop as a cutting board and it leaves streaks, or they put a hot pan on it and it burns it and you have to replace it every few years, or it looks terrible, I mean, which one is really the cheaper option? So go quartz. It's gonna look nicer, you're gonna demand higher rents, and it's gonna last longer.
All right, let's go with a don't do. Maybe controversial, maybe not. Nice landscaping. I think the thing with landscaping is it's very expensive, and it doesn't fundamentally change the rent you're gonna get. For the most part, you're not gonna see the money back you're gonna spend that's required to do some nice landscaping.
Let's add to the don't do it list. Refinishing hardwood.
Ooh, controversial.
That's controversial, yeah. Everything here is controversial, but hey, it's my opinion, whatever. I mean, it is labor intensive. It is a little bit expensive. The issue with hardwood in a rental unit, it depends on the unit as well, but it is prone to scratches and wear and tear. The whole point is you're refinishing it because there's wear and tear to it. An easy solution that is roughly similar in pricing. I mean, it might be a little bit more expensive. It's just to put vinyl plank flooring on top. You save that wood floor. You can finish it for when the end user wants it if you want. But I don't think it's needed. It's not going to increase your rent unless you're going for super luxury rental. So just don't do it. Just put vinyl plank.
Going to be the new boomers with broadloom, but not broadloom.
Yeah,
new
yeah.
vinyl flooring over top of all the hardwood that you pulled
Exactly.
up the broadloom from, found the good hardwood, and threw
Except
vinyl
it doesn't
back on
ruin the
top.
floors at least.
Yeah. Well, I guess on that note, I should probably go to vinyl plank flooring, huh? We'll do this in the must-have. I'll follow Spiro's lead. I think in some cases, depending on the building style, you could refinish the hardwood and actually make sense because you're keeping with the, some nice old Victorian character. But in most circumstances, we're gonna be looking to do vinyl flooring. Real hardwood, engineered hardwood is expensive. Engineered hardwood gets beaten up pretty easily. Not worth it. Laminate flooring gets beaten up very easily. Vinyl flooring is like virtually indestructible if you get the right stuff and it's laid properly. Water resistant, dog resistant, like pet resistant, tenant resistant. It lasts a long time. It can see a lot of issues. It still looks amazing. Yeah, vinyl flooring all the way if we're doing any flooring work in a project.
Okay, we're gonna go soundproofing here. Ooh. Soundproofing, I'm gonna go to nice to have. It is nice. I mean, most of the time we don't do it. Yeah. It is an added expense and it does get pretty expensive. You're not gonna really see a return on that, but the quality of life is much higher. So it would either be a don't do it to nice to have, depends on what you're doing. I'm gonna say nice to have because I probably wouldn't recommend doing it, but it would be really nice to have in the apartments.
I'll add one thing to the soundproofing, is if you're doing a permitted project, it just has to, it's a must-have because you just won't get a choice. I'm gonna go ensuite bathrooms. People are gonna hate me because I don't like bathrooms apparently, but I'm putting it on don't do. I know, I'm mad. Again, it depends on what you're building. If you're building the 2% of the best rental units in the city with some big primary bedroom and another bathroom already, maybe. But for most of the stuff that we're building, 3 beds, 1 bath, 2 bed, 1 bath, you want access to roommates in a lot of cases. Looking at the tenant profile, ensuite bathrooms and roommates would be very awkward. It's just an added expense that takes away space that could be used for something else in these rental units. I wouldn't bother.
Let's go to pot lights everywhere. I'm sorry to our electricians, but I'm gonna say don't do it. I don't know if everybody would agree with that. I'm gonna say don't do it. Unless you're in a really dark space like a basement, maybe, then it makes sense. But it is more expensive to do these. Now you can get flush mount lights for like $30, $40. You just put one in a room and it's fine. It's really bright. It's a big pot light. It does the job. Instead of installing 6 or 8 pot lights, that's gonna cost you $1,000 or $800. You do one, that's gonna cost you $100 and it's gonna be the same thing. Again, the pot lights aren't gonna bring you more rent. Maybe in a basement or really dark spaces, it'll help brighten it up, but that's the only scenario I would really put them everywhere. So other than that, keep it simple, keep it cheaper. Don't do it.
Build up the nice to have. I'm gonna go separate laundry. I think separate laundry, again, if I'm building like a brand new unit, a brand new house with multiple units, I'll probably put separate laundries in. I think it's an easy, nice to have one that I would often tick off the list. It's maybe the first thing that I'll say, okay, there's extra budget in this project, or I want to bump the actual quality of tenant or the quality of the unit up a little bit. Ensuite laundry is probably separate ensuite laundry is gonna be one of the first things that I add to a unit. But I'm also not heartbroken if it doesn't exist, if it's not there. If there is shared laundry on site for tenants to access, that's kind of an acceptable minimum for me. But if I can find the separate laundry, I absolutely will. But again, not falling under the must-have for me.
I'm gonna do building a deck. I don't even know what this means, Samantha. Like building a deck, which is randomly big.
What do you mean? You put a deck.
Like just like randomly?
Like a walkout?
Don't do it. Why would you do that? I'm gonna put this at don't do it.
Why would you do it?
Yeah, I mean, like unless you really have to do it, there's no point in it. It kind of goes back to the landscaping cost, right? It's gonna cost you money. It's not gonna increase rent. Just don't do it.
I'm putting closets under must-have, and some people may not agree with me.
Our leasing team would love you.
You're right. See.
Do you practice what you preach,
first.
though?
Hold on, thinking. Yes, mostly. Sometimes you don't have a choice, all right? Sometimes there's just, the spaces are
Now,
not.
by closets, do you mean like IKEA closets that
No,
you can buy,
I mean,
or like
you build in a
built-in?
closet. Give someone a hook and a shelf, or like a rod and a shelf, and like somewhere to
But how about like a
actually
packed
put
system
stuff.
from IKEA?
Also fine. Like if there is no other option, then that's acceptable to me. I would be looking to provide closet space for people. Just being through the leasing process before, knowing what tenants are looking for, walking into a space and they're like, great, here's my bedroom, where's my closet? It kills it for a lot of people, right? I think tenants are going to appreciate closets. And it's such a small thing, a small cost to just build a box with a couple of doors, provided you got the space, the square footage.
That's probably the bigger issue.
Yes.
Not much space in Toronto. So I have painting here. I'm actually going to put this into the must-have because if it needs to be painted, you have to paint it. If it's like a bad color, if it's a dark color, there's a lot of times you buy a property, it's like bright purple or dark red.
7 colors in a unit.
Yellow, yeah, like you get these like crazy colors. Yeah. Just paint it a neutral white color on off-white-ish. You're going to be fine. Usually I would say when you're turning over a unit or buying a unit and creating a new apartment, it's going to have to get painted. So yeah, of course, must have.
All right, last one. New kitchen cabinets. Continue to build out the nice to have section. Falls under it's all, a lot of this is so similar. If you have existing cabinets in the unit that are in good shape, you can keep them. You can do a lot with an old kitchen if it's in like really good shape. Some old kitchens, solid wood, you can repaint them, you can just change the handles, you can change the handles, the countertop, you can change the handles, the countertop and repaint it. There's a lot of ways you can save an existing kitchen or you just keep it if it's in great shape. But if it's falling apart, then it's going to fall under the must-have side because you just won't have a choice. There's no saving it. Or if you're creating new units from nowhere, it's a must-have because you just don't have a kitchen to work with.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Don't
guys.
do it.
No problem.
Nice to have and must have.